never rather my people starve than be in business with you.
Tell me what you know about Teresa Mendoza.
It's only a matter of time before they pull him in. She's taking a crazy risk.
There'll be blood on the streets of New Orleans.
Don't mess this up, cabrón.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, it's your homie, FuturisticMike, and I'm back with another Queen of the South video if you're new. Now, this is going to be the review and recap for Queen of the South, Season 5, Episode 4. If you're a fan of Queen of the South, if you love Queen of the South, hit the like on this video. If you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're finding me, subscribe and turn on those post notifications so when I post videos on Queen of the South, you get them. Now, in the last episode, we seen Dumas, he got locked up, and it was kind of disappointing because I didn't think Teresa would do that to him, but I do understand why she did it. She felt like that was her only option, but I still think she should have did it to Boaz instead of Dumas. I mean, Dumas, in my opinion, has been more loyal to Teresa than Boaz ever has. But it was a pretty solid episode. I'm gonna rate this one, though, a 8.5 out of 10. Now, when the episode first starts, we see Dumas. He's locked up, man. It shows him just in his cell. He's just staring out of his cell, and he looks pissed off. And then it shows Teresa, and she's doing the same thing. She's just looking out the window. Then we see Pote with Kellyanne, and she comes out, and he made her coffee or whatever. And it's funny because Pote hired a bodyguard for Kellyanne. He's not playing around anymore. This guy, Flacco, is supposed to follow Kellyanne around and protect her at all costs, no matter what. And she's like, really? You do not need to have a bodyguard for me. And he's like, no, yes, I do. He's gonna follow you wherever you go and get you whatever you need. Then Kellyanne gets a call, and she goes out and talks to Teresa, and she says that Dumas was denied bail. They're considering him a flight risk. And Teresa says, look, get a good attorney. I don't care how much it costs. We need to get him out. She's really stressing about trying to get Dumas out of jail. Then we see James walk in, and he says that they searched everywhere and they can't find the ledger that the judge has and stuff like that. Then we see they meet with Captain Gamble, and they're asking for his help. Now he's on the payroll. You know, they're paying him $3 million, just like they were paying the judge. So they're asking if he can help them look for the ledger, you know, to help them help Dumas. And then he says he'll see what he can do. So now I guess it's nice that they have Captain Gamble to help them, but they're not going to have him for long. And you'll see why later on when I keep explaining this episode. We see somebody's watching Teresa and Captain Gamble and everybody. Somebody's taking pictures. Now, next we see them still talking about Dumas. You know, they're trying to find an attorney. And they say whoever defends a judge killer is just as guilty as them or whatever. And, you know, they're just talking about what they can do to help your boy Dumas. And we see Lucien walk in. She tells Lucien straight up that she doesn't trust him at all, that she only trusts Dumas. And he says, look, I've been in the game for 40 years. I've been the boss for 40 years. You get used to running things. You'll see. He tells her that he needs supply and she shouldn't cut them off. And she said that she'll think about it. Because he feels like if there's no product for them in New Orleans, shit will get bloody. Then next, we hear James on the phone with Teresa, and he's telling her that Captain Gamble found the ledger and he's sending her a picture of it. So now they have the ledger, they have everything they need to take down the judge. And James is on his way to make the exchange with Captain Gamble. We see Captain Gamble arrive at his place, and we see some detectives are outside watching him. So James sees this. Now next we see Pote and Teresa go to see Dumas, and of course he's not really happy to see them at all. He can't trust Teresa right now, so of course he's not happy to see her. Now she tells him that Lucien came to see her and he wants to continue the shipments and keep getting the cocaine from her. And Dumas says no. You can keep your shipments. I don't want nothing from you. This is not about to happen. We are not in business anymore. Teresa tries to explain that, she's going to do everything she can to help him get out of there. He still doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want her shipments. He doesn't want nothing from her. He calls the guard to take him back to his cell. Now, next we hear James telling Teresa that feds are watching Captain Gamble, and she says, "Are you sure?" This is when she tells them that they have to kill Captain Gamble, that they shouldn't be taking any chances, that they have to kill him because there's a chance that he might expose their operation. They don't know if he was wearing a wire when he went to their bar. They don't know if he was recording them every time they met. So Teresa wants this handled this way. She wants him dead, and she told James to make it look clean and put the evidence, the ledger, and the information about the judge next to him when he dies. Now we see James getting his stuff ready. Pote comes in and says, "What's in the goodie bag?" The CIA must have taught you some cool tricks. And he says that Teresa used to do things the hard way, but he said she's doing what she has to do now to survive. And he tells James not to mess this up. Then we hear Kellyanne telling Teresa that they don't really need to kill a cop, that there's another way they can handle this. She says that they already have so much money in their accounts. She said she doesn't think this is the greatest idea. And Teresa says, "You're here to advise me, not question me." So Pote follows Kellyanne into the room, and she's complaining about how this is not a great idea. And Pote says Teresa does what she has to do to survive. And Kellyanne says, "I realize that, but this is the craziest, riskiest idea ever. To kill a cop, we don't need to do that. There's other ways we can get this done." She said we need to start worrying about ourselves now. And Pote looks at her stomach. And of course, he probably thinks she's right because they're having a baby now. So she is right because, they're bringing a baby into the world and they need to stop doing so much risky stuff. But Teresa is doing what she thinks is best. Now, next we see James sitting outside of Gamble's house. He's getting his little tools ready, getting ready to go in there. Then we see Marcel in his cell and he gets a burner tossed to him, and it's Lucien on the phone. He's saying, "Look, we work together. I respect you and everything, but we need a shipment." He said, "We need the shipment from Teresa. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Our people can't starve. We just have to supply them." And Marcel says, "Look, I don't trust Teresa. She did what she did to me. I do not want to do business with her anymore, and that's how I feel." He said, "Look, I understand what you're saying. I really do, but it cannot happen." And Marcel said, "Do you understand me?" And Lucien said he does. Now next we see James in Gamble's house, and he's trying to kill Captain Gamble, but somebody comes home. I'm pretty sure it's his wife or his girlfriend or something. And James hides in the closet in the kitchen. And she said she's gonna make them some food. Now next we see Marcel. He's in this room talking to an FBI agent. And this FBI agent is saying that he's been on the judge for years and years. He's been trying to catch him doing dirty things. And he says decapitating heads is more of like a Mexican cartel style. So he says that he knows Marcel did not do this to the judge. He said, "Why don't you help me find out who did?" And he said, "What do you know about Teresa Mendoza?" Now at this point in time, I'm thinking Marcel is going to say something about Teresa, like what he knows about her. But later on in the episode, we find out he didn't say anything. Now next we see Teresa sitting in front of a map of the waterfront, and Pote walks in. She tells him that that's their way out. They're trying to go legit. They're trying to get this waterfront and everything. But she says they can't do that if the feds are going to be on to them. Then she gets a call from Lucien. And Lucien says that he talked to Marcel and everything is okay. Everything's a go. He says that she can send a shipment. And she's surprised to hear this because Marcel was not on board. He was saying that he didn't want to deal with Teresa no more. But Lucien said that Marcel said it was okay. So Teresa gets off the phone with him, and Pote says, "Oh, so Marcel changed his mind, huh?" And Teresa says that's what he said. Now next we see Chicho and some of her crew loading up a truck, with tequila and stuff for the shipment. Then we see James still in the closet, and Gamble's on his chair drinking. His girl is cooking some food, cooking some gumbo. And she asked him if he wants chips with his gumbo, and he says yeah. And it's crazy because as soon as she's getting ready to go and walk over to the closet where James is at to get the chips, he says, you know what, make that a side salad. He said he's trying to watch his figure. And honestly, James is so lucky that he said that, because, you know, James would have got exposed. He would have had no choice but to kill his girl too. And James hears on the dispatch that there's going to be a raid at Teresa's place. So Teresa's talking about it with Pote and Kellyanne, and she's texting James about it. And she's like, how do you know? And then he's like, want me to abort? And she says, no, finish the job. I'll figure something out. So she's talking about what she's going to do to handle this situation. And she said she's going to go turn herself in. She's going to confess. So we see Teresa down at the station, and the FBI agent comes in that was talking to Dumas. And we see Pote and Chicho sitting outside the place that they're supposed to raid. Then Teresa says, look, the judge was dirty. He was trying to make me pay him off. He kept on coming back for payments. And Captain Gamble did the same thing. He came in, you know, after the judge died, and he was demanding money. And she said he keeps on wanting more. And so the FBI agent says, oh, so you're the victim in all this? And she says, no, that's not what I'm saying. He says, I know that you got ties to the Sinaloa cartel, because he shows her a picture of Epifanio. So he knows about her past and everything. He said he just talked to Agent Loya. Remember him from season 2 and season 3. So he knows a lot of stuff. And he says, how is it that I know you have a shipment of cocaine out right now? And she's like, what are you talking about? So they raid the truck. One of the FBI agents calls him and says, look, there was nothing on the truck besides tequila. And he says, are you sure? She says, yep. So he hangs up the phone and he looks salty as hell. He has nothing to say. So it's really smart that Teresa ships her cocaine and tequila for him, because nobody catches on to it. It's like she gets away with it. There's no way anybody would know unless maybe they taste the tequila and they get that numb feeling. Then we see Kellyanne going off on the FBI agent. She says, let me guess, you raided one of our trucks thinking there was cocaine on it. And she says, look, I promise if you harass my client anymore just because she's a Mexican immigrant, we're gonna have major problems. And this dude looks so pissed. The look on his face and everything, it's crazy. Teresa and Kellyanne leave, and he gets a call from SWAT. They were getting ready to raid all her establishments, and they said, look, we're in position. Should we continue? And he canceled the raid. And Pote and Chicho are waiting outside to see what happens, and he sees that they drive away, that they canceled the raid. And Teresa gets informed that the raid was canceled. She tells Kellyanne they're happy that it worked. And then Kellyanne gets kind of sick because she's pregnant, and Teresa tells her to breathe. Now next we see Gamble's girl picking up, and you know, she's getting ready to go to bed. He's sitting there. It seems like he's asleep, but as soon as she goes upstairs, he turns the TV on. He was acting like he was asleep just so he didn't have to be bothered with her. Then he hears something coming from upstairs. He thinks she's coming, so he turns the TV back off, and he sees James' reflection in the TV. He gets up and tries to hurry up and make his move, and James beats him to it. You know, he sprays him with his little tool, and it paralyzes him for a minute. And James takes a needle and he sticks it in his mouth, and it kills him. His girl comes down freaking out, all scared, and she's like, please no, don't do this to me. But Captain Gamble is dead. Now next we see Pote go give Lucien a visit. And Lucien knows why he's there. He already knows because he messed up. He said, how did you know? And Pote says, we knew as soon as you said Dumas changed his mind. So Lucien was trying to set all of them up. He's the one that tipped the cops off that Dumas was in that one car in the last episode, and he's the one that just had Teresa's truck raided. So Pote and Teresa and everybody knew what was up. She sent Pote to finish the job, and Lucien's like, I got desperate, didn't I? But I missed the juice of it all. So he just missed being in the game, and Pote says, yep, you messed up. He tells Pote to get on with it, and he shoots him in the head. So rest in peace, Lucien. Honestly, I wasn't even affected by this death because he's not a major character. I didn't even care about him. Now next we see Marcel in his cell, and he's on the phone with Teresa, and Teresa tells him that Lucien is dead. And Marcel looks shocked because he was close with Lucien. He grew up with him and everything. So he's like, why? And Teresa tells him that Lucien flipped on all of them. She tells him that Lucien snitched on him and gave up her truck. So she says, look, I'm gonna do whatever I can to get you out of there. And he says, seeing as you're the one who put me in here, I won't hold my breath. Then next we see James come in, and he tells Teresa that he did what she wanted. You know, he killed Captain Gamble and put the ledger and everything next to him, the information. And she says, okay, good. Now I hope the judge's corruption comes out. And he says, yeah, I hope so. Then we see Pote sitting there at the candles with Tony's picture, and him and Teresa are talking. Pote says that he's scared and everything, you know, to bring a baby in this world, and they're just talking, just bonding like usual. And that's the end of the episode. Now this was a really solid episode. I definitely think it was one of the stronger episodes of the season so far. I think one of my favorite seasons of the show so far is season 2, but I definitely want to see what season 5 has to offer the rest of the season. So I can't wait. But what did you guys think of this episode? Comment your thoughts down below. What are your theories, thoughts, predictions, and everything else? Keep supporting your boy, and I'll be continuing to bring y'all Queen of the South content in the future. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you can never miss a video. If you guys want to donate to the channel, I got links below to the PayPal and Cash App accounts. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me get out of here, y'all. It's your boy, Futuristic Mike, and I'll talk to you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.